When I was a teenager, I set a bold goal for myself, which was to make my first million before my 30th birthday. And at that time, it felt almost impossible. But fast forward, I made it happen, and before my 30th birthday. And no, it wasn't luck. It was all about making the right moves and learning from my mistakes. And in this video, I'm going to break down what strategies I followed and what mindset shifts I had to make in order to turn my childhood dream into a reality. So if you're serious about making your first million, then pay attention to this video. This might just be the most important video that you'll watch this year. And don't worry, I'm not going to pitch you some kind of new shiny object business model. I'm going to give you something much better, which is universal principles that you can apply to your life. No matter what job, business, or what country you're from, these principles can be applied. All right, let's dive in. But before we do so, make sure to hit the like button if you enjoy watching videos like this one, because I put a lot of effort into making these concepts and blueprints and frameworks for you very easy to understand and digest so that you can implement them in life to become more successful, to live a more fulfilled life, and to grow your net worth. And if you haven't done so yet, then make sure to subscribe to my channel, because I put out regular videos like this one. Now, let's dive in. And as you know, the topic of this video is how I made my first million before 30 and how you can do that too. All right, before we dive in, very briefly, let's touch upon my story, my background, and why I'm a credible person to share all of this with you. So not that long ago, I was stuck in the rat race. I had a job in Silicon Valley. From the outside world, it looked like an amazing life. The company was paying for my car, my house in one of the most expensive areas of the United States. I had a great salary. I got a lot of promotions in a very short period of time, and to the outside world, it looked like I made it. Literally, my friends and family members told me, like, Mitchell, if you just keep on this path for a few more years, then you'll be set for life. And I understand that from the outside world, it might have looked like that, but in reality, I felt totally unfulfilled. I felt trapped in the rat race. I was just going to the office every single day, waking up 6 a.m., going to the office, doing meetings, making spreadsheets, making coffee for my boss, my superiors, lots of corporate politics, and I just didn't see myself there for the next 40, 50 years of my life. So I was stuck in the rat race. I was dreaming of a life with a lot more freedom than I had at that point in time. And everyone around me told me that it wasn't possible, that it was just much better to just stay at the job where I was, to just keep doing what I was doing, to climb the corporate ladder, to get a nice, stable job, build my family, get a house, get a mortgage, and basically follow the path that society set out for me. But ultimately, for me, it's all about living my best life, and that didn't feel to me like my best life. So fast forwarding a few years to where I am right now, like I mentioned in the introduction, I made my first million. In fact, I made my first million at the age of 28. So right now I'm 32, so that was 4 years ago. I own a portfolio of real estate around the world. My investment portfolio is multiple 7 figures. I'm completely financially free, meaning that my investment portfolio can pay for my lifestyle. So even if I would close my laptop today, my investments would pay for my lifestyle. And that is a very fortunate position to be in, a position that I would say less than 1% of people in life actually get to. And in this video, I'm going to help you step by step to understand basically what I did to get to this point. So, yeah, I want to emphasize that all of this was not a coincidence. Look, if you set a goal for yourself to make your first million before your 30th, it doesn't just magically happen that on your 30th birthday you suddenly wake up and in your bank account there will be $1 million. No, it's not like that. Along the way, I had to learn a lot. I had to change who I was and who I was becoming in order to achieve the things that I have right now. And all of this was by design. Literally, I followed a blueprint step by step to get here. And this blueprint wasn't always clear. I had to hire mentors, coaches. I went to masterminds. I had to study other people that have followed this path, and now I understand, looking back, what are the big and most important things that will move the needle for you and that have moved the needle for me. And that's what I'm going to share with you. So one question that I have for you is, what do these three people have in common? Michael Jackson, 50 Cent, and Mike Tyson. I'm really curious if you know the answer. So let me reveal it to you. Each of these three made a ton of money before they went broke. Michael Jackson, super famous singer. 50 Cent, super famous rapper. I remember when I was a teenager at high school, I was listening to 50 Cent music. This guy was amazing. He broke all the charts. He had hit after hit. Mike Tyson, one of the best fighters in the world. These people made so much money, yet they went broke. In fact, Michael Jackson made $380 million. Michael Jackson was $380 million in debt before he died. This was someone that was earning millions for every appearance that he was doing, yet he was $380 million in debt when he died. 50 Cent made $500 million, so $500,000 before he went bankrupt. Mike Tyson made around $400 million before he went bankrupt. So I personally used to think that the key to financial freedom was to maximize my active income. And with active income, I mean income from my job or my business. So my solution to everything was to just work harder. Here you see a picture of me at a co-working space in Valencia, Spain. This was when I was building my first business. And I figured if I want to achieve that first million, then I just need to work evenings, weekends. I need to sacrifice my entire social life. I'm just going to be working and grinding. And yeah, indeed. In the beginning, I saw a correlation between how many hours I put into my work and how much my income was increasing. But the result, after a while, was that I was starting to feel a bit burnt out. So in the beginning, you have this nice hit of motivation. You go to the office, to the co-working space, you work weekends, and you see on Instagram that your friends are partying and having fun, and you think, look at those losers, they're having fun right now, but in a few years they'll regret that they didn't invest the time and energy like I'm doing right now. And then there is the extra income that is coming in because you are making moves by investing extra time and energy into building up yourself, growing, learning books. But after a while, you start to become a little bit burnt out by all of this. And in addition, when I was making more money, I also started to spend more money. So I was now working harder, but at the same time, I was also spending more. So financially, I was still in the same spot. And this was a big problem because I was burnt out, yet I didn't have the financial results that I was looking for, which I hoped to get when I was working harder. And looking back, I now see a very important pattern. I was stuck in something that I call the make it, spend it cycle. And here is how it works. So you have time on the horizontal axis and you have capital on the vertical axis. So what happens is you have $0 or euros or pounds in your bank account. And you feel like you want to work really hard because it hurts to have no money in your bank account. Being broke hurts. So you have a big motivation to work hard, to grind, to hustle, to sell. And it works. Like at one point you start to make more and more and more and more money. And then you become a little bit more relaxed. You look at your bank account, you see that money is coming in. So instead, you start to spend it. You start to look at, all right, what clothes can I buy? What watch can I buy? Oh no, let's fly business class this time. Or let's go to that more expensive restaurant and order the nice juicy steak this time. And then after a while, you see that your bank account starts to drop again. and it goes to a lower point where almost all of the funds in your bank account are depleted, which hurts. You're broke again. So you start to work hard again. And then you make more money, and then you see that you've reached a certain amount of money in your bank account where you can start spending again, because you know that you've made a good amount of money, you've got some buffers, so you become a little bit more relaxed with your spending. And this is the cycle that I was in, the make it, spend it cycle. And that's a cycle where many people are actually stuck in for the rest of their life. And that's the reason why many people don't really build up a lot of wealth. So think of it like this. Michael Jackson, 50 Cent, and Mike Tyson, they were also stuck in the make it, spend it cycle. They were making hundreds of millions, almost $500 million, yet they were spending it all. So if you're making it and then you're spending it, then in the end you're still stuck at exactly the same point as you were before. So making more active income doesn't always give you more freedom or more wealth. So there are a few components that are missing, which I had to learn and which I also want to give to you, which are the following. So I soon discovered the next piece of the puzzle. I discovered this a few years ago when I took my team to 10x GrowthCon, which is a conference in Miami organized by Grant Cardone. If you don't know Grant Cardone, you can look him up on YouTube. He's a famous public speaker, sales trainer, and yeah, he had this yearly event that he was hosting in Miami. So I bought tickets, a flight, an Airbnb, flew over my entire team as a reward for a few nice milestones that we achieved together. And on that stage, Grant Cardone was speaking, and he said something really interesting. You know, Grant Cardone always talks about selling, making more money, but on stage he said, hey guys, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. Because you can make so much money, but if you spend it all, then what is the point of making that money? Then you're not going to build wealth. You've just created a hamster wheel for yourself. And for some people, making a lot of money and spending it can be very comfortable. It's like a golden cage that you're trapped in. So what Grant Cardone is basically saying is that you also need to learn how to save some of your money, how to build a war chest. But then the next question is saving the key to financial freedom? Well, have you ever heard of someone that saved their way to becoming a billionaire? I have not read a book by a billionaire in which he said that the conclusion to how he built his wealth was just he saved a lot of money. And when we talk about saving money, for example, when you walk past Starbucks, a lot of people would tell you like, no, just don't spend your money on a very expensive cappuccino or very expensive latte at Starbucks. Instead, just keep that $5 in your bank account. But every time you walk past Starbucks and you don't spend that $5 on a coffee, will that make you wealthy if you keep doing that for the rest of your life? No, that is not going to make you a multimillionaire or a billionaire. So there's one more important piece missing. And that piece, I learned it from Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki, and I talk about him quite a lot, he has made a very big impact on my life. Robert Kiyosaki is the author of the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a Bible for anyone that wants to learn how to become financially free. And in this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he explains in very simple language how anyone could become financially free by investing in assets. Assets are things that increase in value or that pay you a cash flow. And assets, examples of assets are stocks, crypto, real estate, watches, those kind of things. And poor people don't invest in assets. Instead, poor people spend their money on liabilities. Liabilities are things that only take money out of your pocket. For example, your car, expensive clothes, travel. Like the moment you've spent that money, it's gone. It's never going to come back. Whereas if you invest money in assets, it will give you more money in return. So Robert Kiyosaki also explains that the rich don't work for money. Money works for them. So the rich sacrifice a few years of their life to earn active income. They then use that income to invest it in assets, which will then pay for their lifestyle. That's basically the blueprint that Robert Kiyosaki explains in his book. And now everything became clear to me. This is the moment that all puzzle pieces fell into their place. So there are three components for anyone that wants to become financially free, which was, number one, you need to learn how to make more money by learning valuable skills, by building a business, those kind of things. Or when you have a job, for example, you can get a promotion or get the skills that are required to get a promotion or build a better relationship with your boss. The second thing you need to do is you need to learn how to keep more of the money that you make. So what's the point of making a lot of money if you spend it all in the next few days after receiving your paycheck? Then you're just stuck in a hamster wheel. So you need to learn how to make more. You need to learn how to keep more of what you make. And finally, this was the missing piece from Robert Kiyosaki. You need to learn how to multiply your money. Rich don't work for money. Money works for them. So these three components, if you combine them, they will be a very powerful combination that will help you to accelerate towards your goal of achieving millionaire status, building your wealth, making more money, getting more freedom. And while you are listening to this video, this might sound very clear and logical to you, but you will experience some resistance because society has not programmed you in order to execute these three things the right way. Society has programmed you to remain stuck in the system because the educational system has not been created with your best interest in mind. The educational system was created in the early 1900s by Rockefeller, or at least Rockefeller funded the Board of Education, which created the curriculum. And a famous quote about Rockefeller at the time was, "I don't want to create a nation of thinkers, I want to create a nation of workers." So he created the educational curriculum in such a way that people are taught to get a job, don't ask any critical questions, and to work in that job for the next 40 years or so until they're 65 and retired, and meanwhile build up their family, get a house, get a mortgage, so that they're nice and trapped into the system. And this is how you're programmed by society. So first you need to unprogram that, and you need to install a new operating system on your software. I kind of see this figuratively as if you are now taking your brain and you're going to download a new operating system. And what is the operating system that you have installed on your brain? I call it the old paradigm. So what is the old paradigm? The old paradigm, what is a paradigm in the first place? Paradigm is almost like a set of glasses, like glasses that you put on your face. If you put orange glasses on your face, you will see the world orange. If you put yellow glasses on your face, you will see the world yellow. Everything will be bright. If you put dark glasses on your face, you'll see the world dark. So depending on what glasses you have on your face, that will determine how you see the world. Similarly, what thoughts and beliefs are in your mind will determine how you see the world. So this is how society programmed you. So society will just tell you to focus on making more money. So you need to get a business or you need to get a job, and your goal is to climb the corporate ladder and to increase your income. At the same time, you're seeing all of these advertisements on social media, on TV, on the radio, and they're all wanting you to realize that something is missing and that you need to spend your money on something. So they create really great consumers out of you. So you focus on increasing your income, but you're spending a lot of money. You're unaware of your spending habits because at school they never taught you how to handle your money. They also didn't teach you how to invest your money. So instead you're approaching the market like a casino. You're throwing money left and right at different investments, hoping that one of them will ultimately make you rich, but probably you've lost most of your money on investments, which were more gambles. You're probably focused on the short term because the short term just gives you an extra hit of dopamine. Dopamine is a brain chemical that gives you a sense of happiness. Adrenaline, again, gives you the feeling that you are in the moment. And when you are throwing your money at this random meme coin or altcoin that promises you to make 100x return, that gives you adrenaline and dopamine. And your brain gets addicted to this adrenaline and dopamine. And that's how people basically develop a gambling addiction. You're stuck in the make it, spend it cycle, which I explained before. And the result is that you feel continuous financial pressure because all of this, because you're making money, but you're spending it and you aren't really building up any wealth. Yet you hear these stories about people that are becoming a millionaire, billionaire, and you're wondering, why is it not happening to me? Well, I was in exactly this position. And I had to rewire my mind throughout the past few years in order to adopt a new paradigm. And in this new paradigm, I was not focused on maximizing my active income. I was focused on maximizing my passive investment income. So again, remember, I just told you the rich don't work for money. That's what we learned from Robert Kiyosaki. Money works for them. So I had to figure out how I could put my money to work. So instead of spending 80-90% of my money, I focus on investing my money. And instead of being unaware of where my money goes through, I started to really track the money coming in and out. And I started to build money habits, which served me to build my wealth. And instead of gambling my money on risky investments, I studied famous investors like Warren Buffett, and I learned from them that they're not chasing new shiny object investments. Instead, they have a very plain, boring investment plan. They maybe make 1 to 3 different investments per year, and they're just patient and they let time do their work. And instead, they get much better returns. Instead of being focused on the short term, chasing dopamine and adrenaline, I focused on the long term. I started to become a long-term investor. I purchased investments, held it for the long term, and started to see that over time it slowly increased in value. And I wasn't stuck anymore in the make it, spend it cycle. I broke out of the cycle and my net worth started to grow to the point that I achieved my early retirement at the age of 28, meaning that my investment portfolio was completely paying for my entire lifestyle and that I didn't have to work for money anymore. But working became an option because I didn't have to financially, but working and building businesses and creating is one of my passions. So now you see how powerful it is. If you start to adopt a new way of thinking, then also you will start to achieve new results in life. And the analogy that I want to share with you about the old paradigm and the new paradigm is most people are stuck in this old paradigm and they make a bit of money, and I call this the golden goose. And what they do is they eat their golden goose. They think, oh, nice, I'm going to make some foie gras or some duck leg. And then they eat their duck. This is an analogy for just spending their money. Instead, if you nurture this duck, you give it love, you feed it, you learn how to take care of ducks, then they will start to lay eggs. And those eggs will hatch, creating more ducks. And those ducks in turn will lay more eggs, creating a whole army of ducks that are laying eggs. And then at one point, if you want to eat some eggs, don't worry, you can eat an egg or you can even eat a duck. It doesn't matter because you already have a lot of ducks and your ducks are producing more ducks. But this is the point with investing. If you don't spend your money straight away and instead you make a few smart financial decisions and you invest it, then your money starts to make more money. And that's how you break out of the system. So that's how I went from where I was a few years ago, completely stuck and being burnt out and, you know, not knowing what steps I had to take in order to become an actual millionaire before the age of 30, to changing my perspective, making a paradigm shift, and then getting those results that I always dreamed of having, becoming a millionaire, building up a multi-7-figure investment portfolio, having properties all around the world, and achieving a point where my investment portfolio can entirely pay for my lifestyle. So I hope that this video was useful to you. Let me know in the comments below what was your biggest insight from this video and what are the things that you're going to implement in your life. Are you going to adopt this new paradigm? All right, if you got good value out of this video, then make sure to hit the like button. And if you haven't done yet, make sure to also subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be posting regular videos like this one to help you to get an edge as a person, as an investor, as an entrepreneur, to help you to grow your net worth, and ultimately to help you to get a more successful, fulfilled, and wealthy life. All right, that being said, peace out. See you in the next one.